Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. So in today's video, I'm test riding the 2019 Harley Davidson Street Bob. Yeah, look at this awesomeness. RevelatorAlf. Now, I've been looking at a Harley for quite a while now and haven't quite made up my mind what I really wanted. And this is definitely my style. I love this kind of bike. I love that sort of bobber look. And this has got the Milwaukee-Eight engine in, 107 cubic inch, 1745 cc's in English speak, LED headlight. You know, it's on a new soft sail chassis as well. Really stiff. Right, I've just ridden it up here, looks great. Clunky clutch, I've got to say, on this one, and you know, when you're really opening it up quickly, you're almost having to hang on to it a little bit because you're not really planted in the seat as much. But what we're doing, we're going to take it for an extensive test ride now, see what I feel. I am in the market for it. This is a review not only for you guys but also for me as well, and let me know well, see what I think of it really. But just having a look here, I mean, it's all blacked out and it looks great, doesn't it? I mean, it's one nice little thing that they've done here on their models now, that they've given you a little USB port, little charging port, which is really good. That just clips off there. So what you could do, just put a little extension on up here and just have a, you know, 2 or 3 there. You can charge phones, whatever, cameras, that kind of thing. I mean, it's just a great looking bike. Simple, cut back for a modern bike, looks good. Spoke wheels, you know, blacked out everywhere. Be a real sod to keep clean, I'm sure. What I also like about it is this tank is really nice. They've decluttered everything. I'll move on to that instrumentation panel in a minute. But the problem is it's a small tank. It's about 15 litres, I think, something like that. 15 litres and change. That means you only got about 150 odd miles on there. So you're going to be refilling that quite a lot. The instrumentation is all held within the digital clock here now as well. And then you've got a little warning panel down there as well. Look, it's great, it's really neat. I think a lot of the bikes are going to come moving towards that as well. But in many ways it's lost a little bit by having that. If you look at the profile on the bike, it almost looks, that tank looks a little too small for the bike. You almost need something up here just to fill it out, or they just needed a bigger tank. But anyway, look, it looks great. It's totally, in terms of like a day-to-day bike, you know, if you want a bit of practicality of being able to strap things to it and all that kind of stuff, no, if this is like a bar hopper, this is like going out for leisure rides and stuff like that. You know, for me, I need something with bags, I need something with that I can strap stuff to and go on longer journeys, a bit more comfort. But I think I might forego that just for this. Right, let's go and give it a test ride and see what I think. Right, on we go. And again, it's with the bike here, it's not keyless, but you just keep the key in your pocket and take off the kill switch. And again, typical Harley, almost feels as if it hasn't got enough battery power to start it. Clunk it into first gear, and these are mid-mounted controls, but they do feel a little bit forward actually for me. Right, on we go. Standard pipes, all blacked out pipes, but they are sounding anemic, but do you know what? Not too bad actually. Not too bad when it comes to the sound. I'm sure a lot of you want, you know, the louder pipes and all that kind of stuff. I prefer a little bit stealthier. I think as initial buy, I'd go with the stock pipes myself, standard exhaust, and then see how I go with it, and then I'd probably go for the stage 1 and the exhaust pipe afterwards. some shotgun pipes or something like that. But do you know what? It's alright. This instrument panel here is actually really good. I wasn't too sure about it first of all, but it's actually quite ingenious. It's sort of tucked away, but you kind of look quickly, just look down, and it's a nice digital display. I'm just wondering if the sun is really bright shining on it, how effective it's going to be, you know. But this is nice. It feels nice. It feels planted. You do feel as if you just sat on a stool a little bit with it, in that you haven't really got a lot of padding there. You haven't got a lot of formation around your arse, put it that way. So you just kind of, you know, sat there. So that's why when you open it up, you do feel as if you have to dig in with your feet, and you hold onto the grips a little bit. Unlike other Harleys, when you open it up, you know, you feel that you're being held in the seat. You know, you feel it in your core, your pelvis, that you're being supported. There doesn't seem to be as much support here, I've got to say. But it feels a lot lighter, this bike. I was just about to go for that, but I think, yeah, probably not. There's some works access here. 50 mile an hour road. Right, here we go. Well, there we go, got past that slow coach. It definitely is really responsive, because it's so light as well. You know, you still got 70-45, you know, power coming out that engine. I'll put all the specs in the description as well, so you can have a look at that. But it's really feeling. So look, I rode the old incarnation of the Street Bob, and I thought it had great balance. And I tell you what, this has got great balance in the bends. This really does want to fly through the bends. And it's like, look, you can lean this over, a bit of counter steering, hold it in there, pull it in. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Look at that. This is nice. What a ride. Do you know what? This is back to like the old bobber I had. Bare bones riding within a modern bike. Completely modern bike, but bare bones riding. It's a beauty. Right, let me go this way. I mean, it's sort of nimble around town. It's got a really long first gear, this has. You know, so you'll probably find that you're going to be in second and third gear, just idling around town. You know, that's all you're going to be doing. You know, that's first, second, very clunky gear changes, I've got to say. And just with a lot of Harleys, got a very short clutch as well, very early clutch, as I say. So you kind of have to be ready with the throttle just to blip it up a few revs, otherwise you probably stall the thing. Just come away from that bump. I mean, it's actually, in terms of ride, it's actually quite smooth. I was expecting it to not to be as smooth, not as comfortable, but it is quite smooth. And look, I'm wearing a full face helmet, but I'm not actually feeling a lot of wind on the body. We'll see how it is when I get onto the motorway. But look, it's great. The engine is responsive. It's a lighter bike slightly. And this comes in wet weight, you know, ready to ride at just under 300 kilos, I think. Pretty sure it is. So add, you know, another 80-90 kilos. You're talking about 400 kilos rider, you know, rider, 380 kilos with a rider as well. It feels like a bit of a small bike to me, though, I've got to say. A great bike, but it feels like a bit of a small bike. Yeah, look, I mean, that is just awesome. I'll tell you what you need to do. You kind of have to move away from the you have to move away from the cruiser seating position, lean yourself forward, dig in with your feet on the pegs a little bit, and you're a lot better. If you kind of just lean back and hold back a little bit, you're kind of hanging on a bit too much. But if you just lean forward a little bit, you know, charge at it, you know, with your seating, when you ride this, you'll see what I mean. Yeah, I mean, when you ride it, you'll actually see what I mean. It's kind of just charge at it, and a lot better. I mean, it's great. It's great following. You do feel with this bike that you want to go a bit faster. You want to open it up. I mean, this is a bobber, but this is like it's on steroids, if you know what I mean. Yeah, really nice. Positive in the bends. It just sticks. You pick a line and it'll go there. This new frame chassis, I've got to say, it is the dog's bollocks. This one is. Other ones that I've ridden before, the older, you know, models, there were some wallowing pigs, really. Let me go this way. They were wallowing pigs, really. I've got to say, they weren't that good. Whereas this, oh yeah. And do you know what? Because it's so narrow, this would be great for filtering as well. This would be a great bike for commuting. You want to just, you know, go through the traffic, whatever. Depends where you are in the world, of course. Lane splitting, whether that's legal or not. But over here in the UK, we can do it. So you know. And it's just brilliant. It's narrow, it's quick, you know, you're comfortable sitting down. You know, this is not a permanent long run bike. I think you'd suffer on this in terms of a long tour, but that's not what it's designed for. It's designed for, you know, looking cool, riding a little bit faster. I just wish it was physically a little bit bigger. Although I got to say, I'm 6'1", and I do fit on it. These mini 8s that come up, I think they're 12-inch. They come up really nice. I mean, it's just my perfect height. You know, my hands are literally just probably about 3 inches below my shoulder height, which is just about right, just where I like them. The black, I mean, it comes in various colours, but the black for me, vivid black. It's a shame they don't do the matte black anymore, but you know, or whatever colour they call that. But they do this kind of smoky grey colour, which I think is just it's almost got a little bit of brown in it. I'm not too keen on it myself, but there you go. But the black for me is the colour. But it is effortless. I mean, I don't think I've even got out of 4th or 5th gear here yet. I mean, it's got 6 gears. And you know, just pootling around, you're gonna, you know, it's just a great bike. You don't need any sort of fairing, you don't need anything. Let's face it, most people, when they're riding their bikes, especially this kind of bike, they're not going to be doing high speeds. You know, you're not going to be hooning around, you know, at 100 miles an hour. On this bike, I'll probably do it. I'm sure it would actually. But you know, it's I think where you're going to suffer with this is on a long stretch on the motorway. Short stretches, you know, who cares? You get wind in your face, it's fine. But long stretches, I think that's where you might suffer a little bit. I think more than anything, you need to pick the right gear for this bike as well. So I'm in 3rd now. If you go 4th, yeah, if you're a little bit too slow, although the torque is there, it's almost like they've got very long gears. Like a sports bike will have short gears. You know, that's why you have to keep on revving the bloody thing and keep on changing. But this has got long gears, very torquey. So it's almost like, you know, the first few virtual everyday riding, you're probably going to be going up into 4th gear. You're never really going to go more than that. So this will fare well in the, you know, in a built-up area, definitely. Street riding, urban riding, perfect. It looks cool. You're going to turn heads. You know, the girls are going to be throwing their panties at you. And if you're a girl riding this, all the blokes are going to be opening their wallets for you as well. Yeah, this is it's definitely a sweet ride, I gotta say. Just come back down here again because I like these twisters, and it's just nice. It just feels nice. It's got the balance, you know. As I say, I'm going to go to the left hand side here, just lean over a little bit, a bit of counter steering, and it just sticks to that line. There's no pull either way. Sometimes with these cruiser bikes you get a pull as you bend it over, lean it over, but not this one. This is nice. So you can ride this in two ways. You can ride this very much in a cruiser mode, just chugging along, enjoying the afternoon like I am now. Oh, look at this greenery, absolutely lovely. But then, if you think, right, devil may care, because I'm a rebel without a clue, I'm gonna give it the beans. Look, you're not getting a sports bike here, but what you are getting is a Harley that wants to ride, that wants to go. Sit forward a little bit, whoosh. The brakes, I've got to say, the brakes are a little bit spongy on this. They do grip, they do stop it, and Harleys are noted for their lack of braking performance, but other Harleys I've ridden recently seem to have a better way of gripping it. Yeah, and this is a single disc on the front. I mean, it looks good, it feels good. Mirrors, yeah, good vision through the mirrors, I gotta say. They come just above the kind of elbow region. I wasn't sure about the foot pegs, first of all. I wasn't sure that they were rear enough. I thought they were a bit too far forward. It's almost like they're not forward mounted controls, they're not mid mounted. It's almost like they're a little bit in between. But having ridden this for a while, well, obviously Harley know what they're talking about, because I think they've positioned them just right. But this comes back down to having a bike that fits you and you fit it. So let's say, you know, I'm say 6'1", it feels a bit small, but ergonomically the bike fits me, which is a bit strange. And I think the chassis is a bit smaller, it's a bit more of a compact bike, and I think psychologically you think it's a little bit smaller because of the smaller fuel tank. And there's nothing on here because it's all hidden in that small, you know, that small digital thing there. It's very unobtrusive. So this is kind of getting back to that stripped back look. I want one of these, I think. I'm very, very tempted for this. I know the bike that I'm going to get is something like this. This is the bike that is going to put a big smile on your face. Definitely. Let's have a look here. Oh, effortless, effortless. Beauty. You have to hold on, that's for sure. You have to hold on, but it's stable. Very, very stable. The wind does catch you, but I tell you what, as I said before, when you're accelerating hard on this, just dig your feet in, almost grip the tank a little bit, sports bike rider style, hold on to the grips and just lean forward a little bit, and you don't feel it at all. I think what helps is, you know, you wear a full face helmet, you know, on the big open road at speed. I'm talking riding at speed here, and it's, you know, you'll be absolutely fine. I think, you know, everyday riding, well, for me, I love my open face helmet, so I'd be wearing an open face helmet, just pootling around. but definitely this will get up there. I won't tell you how fast I was going, but it got up there, up to regulation speed, very convincingly, very nicely. Everybody else seems to be going really slowly, but I was concerned that it would get too light on the road. I thought it might have a little bit of a wobble. I thought because you're exposed, you might start to become a bit unstable as you got a bit faster. None of that, ladies and gentlemen, none of that at all. This is a great bike. It sounds great just with the standard pipes. I got to say, you know, from inside the helmet, yes, I know, all standard pipes, I know, they all do sound, on Harleys that is, they all do sound a little bit like a VW Bug, I know that. But if you want a stealthier kind of way to, you know, come and go without being detected a little bit, well, for me, you know, this is the way to go. I mean, I kind of have to get up early in the morning, I come back really late at night in the dead of night for my travels, and you know, I just try and be neighbourly whenever I can, and this will be perfect. I think if I had loud pipes, loud exhausts, then I think well, I'd be at having wars with the neighbours on a regular basis, but you know, who cares about that. Anyway, this looks good, it feels good, it's the business, you fit well in it. It is a perfect leisure ride. But what this bike isn't, it isn't a bike, a practical bike. If you want to carry stuff, you're going to have to carry it on your person. You could put bags on this that comes with a kit, mountable, demountable bags, but I've got to say, they look shocking. And when you take the bags off, the frame that is left looks absolutely shocking as well. You either got to have the bags permanently mounted, which are not lockable, I don't think. They're kind of lever like, with that. Well, basically that's not secure, is it? Or you just don't have anything at all. I think because of the work that I do and the things that I do in my leisure time, I'm always having to carry stuff, laptops, cameras, that kind of stuff, recording equipment. You know, I think I need a little bit more than that. Damn it, one bike never suits all, does it? But this is a brilliant bike. Blimey, you just feel good on it. You know, it's almost like you want a car to go past you so you can say, hey, how you doing? You know, it's that kind of thing. It's like, yeah, I feel good, I'm riding a kick-ass bike. And do you know what? Yeah, who cares about beating other bikes? I don't. But I tell you what, it will beat most cars off the line. You know, normal cars here, I'm not talking about sports cars. You know, you'll be the envy of every car driver out there, because when they're all stuck in traffic, you'll be riding by, and you'll be riding by in style. It does well in traffic. You know, it's easy. It wants to cruise around. Let me put it this way: it's good at cruising around at lower speeds. Actually, in the slow turns here, it's not pulling. The front tyre, the steering is not pulling in either direction, so it maintains its neutrality, if there is such a word. So it doesn't want to pull left or right, you know, in the slow turn, which is good. Other Harleys I've noticed do that, but this doesn't. So it remains light. It remains easy to ride. This is you don't think it's a 300 kilo bike actually, at all. It's very light, very nimble. Beautiful in the turns, easy riding at slow speeds. But of all Harleys, if you are coming from a sports bike kind of background, as it were, and you just want to slow it down a bit, but you still want to have a bit of excitement, Get one of these. Definitely get one of these. It looks the business. And it rides like the business. I sound like a bit of a Harley salesman, I know I do, and I don't mean to, because you know what, I'm not even a Harley fan really. I'm not even a Harley kind of, historically, I've never been a Harley person, never owned one. Ridden lots, but never owned one. But the last couple I've ridden recently have been awesome. Awesome bike, and I think a lot of it, most of it, has got to do with this new soft tail chassis frame that everything's bolted to now. It feels good. Look, just knock it down. Oh. Look at that. Easy, easy. Beauty. Look, into the bends, just roll it into the bends, and you can, look, what can I say, you can actually power this in the bends, power this in the bends. Take it in there. Oh, beautiful. Stay there, don't go. There we go. Right. Very nice. Well, what can I say? This has been a pretty nice ride. In fact, it's been a lot more than that. It's been brilliant. I think you can agree with me that this has been a brilliant ride. I think that's Harley, isn't it? And I keep on talking about this as a Harley thing. You know, it is a feeling. It's very emotive, isn't it? Because we know, look, let's not kid ourselves, they're not the best performance bikes, they're not the best, you know, technologically, I can't even say it, they're not the best technologically, are they, you know, but what they do, they bring you back to what riding was about, you know, they bring you back to just good old-fashioned riding bikes, getting in there, getting on, jumping on, and then bosh, off you go. You've got that old school sort of sound to it, you've got that old school feeling to it, but this is brand new. It looks brand new. Well, it is brand new, of course, I mean, but you know, in terms of it feels like you're on a new bike, because you are on a new bike, but the technology is there to make you, it's all fuel injected, you know, there's no carbs on this, you know, you've got disc brakes, you know, you've got, you know, monster power on this thing. The seating position is great, handlebars are great, digital display here, you know, it's just, I mean, with this button here on the left, you scroll through different modes, there we go, and you know, on the lower screen here, just very different, the trip, how much fuel you got on board, all that kind of stuff. Let's go this way. I mean, it's just RPMs. I mean, it looks, oh, you kind of run out of things to say. If you're a solo rider, and if you can handle, you know, just carrying stuff on your back, and you're never really carrying stuff with you, hands down, for me, no question, this is the bike to have. Hands down. There you go, that's my verdict. However, as soon as you want to start carrying people, pillions, whether it's your girlfriend, your wife, or well, if it's your boyfriend or whatever, you know, if it's your son or your daughter, all that kind of stuff, right? Or you want to carry stuff, then all the accessories that go on here will ruin the look of the bike. I don't care what you say, put comments below if you totally disagree with me, but I'm telling you right now, you put on a pad on the back You put on a king and queen seat, or whatever they're bloody well called these days, okay, a touring seat on this, it totally destroys the look of the bike. You start putting bags on it, it looks shocking. I was just about to say the other word there, but you know what I mean. It looks absolute rubbish. This bike is meant to be bare bones. This bike is meant to be raw. Nothing strapped to it. You on it, riding solo. That's the way it is. And do you know what? That's the way they're selling it as well. It kind of makes sense, doesn't it? They're not wrong. They're not wrong. They're telling you. They are telling you. Harley are telling you, don't mess about with this bike. This bike is good enough as it is. This bike is for you to ride by yourself, leave all your worries behind, and just go and have a gay old time. This is what this bike about. Don't mess with Harley, because they know what they're talking about in this one. The problem is us bikers, we think we know better than the manufacturers a lot of the time, in terms of customization and all that kind of stuff. And you know what, sometimes we're right and sometimes we're wrong, and I think in this case you start trying to add things to this and it'll be wrong. Just leave it as it is. But you've got to decide if this bike is right for you and your lifestyle. And for me, I just don't think it is. I just don't think it is. Now that I'm still traveling around a lot, still on the road a lot, doing lots of different things. Let me go this way. Yeah, it's not right. But look, going through town here, just gonna come through here. Look, you're just weaving around. It's effortless, effortless. On the side streets here, very nice. It's very comfortable. I am starting to get a bit of a numb feeling though around my pelvic area, and this is one of the concerns I had with this kind of bike. And I spoke to other people as well, and they've said, yeah, funny you mentioned that, we've had similar kind of issues as well. And it's not all Harleys, don't get me wrong. I rode one the other day, didn't have it. But this model, I think it is just the way the seat is digging into the cockpit, where it's digging into the coccyx, as opposed to being supportive, and I think that's what it is. There we go. I think I've diagnosed the issue here. But you're gonna have, it's not, this is a bike that you ride for half an hour, something like that, but you don't ride much longer than that. This is a bike that you just poodle around on, go fast, go slow, you know, short sectors. This is short little journeys. Anything longer, you need a little bit more than that. But I tell you what, it's good. It's good. These indicators are a little bit funny. You basically got to press it. Sometimes they self-cancel, sometimes they don't, and you got to press it again. So you got to watch that. You're almost like you're having a bit of finger trouble initially, but it's actually the controls, the switches. It's all very simple. I like it. No cruise control on this bike, because it's a street bob. You don't need cruise control on a street bob, for Christ's sake. But look, I'm just going to go around here. Look, it just rides through past the traffic really good, really easy. It's responsive enough, you know, it's not lagging, you know, it's a good street bike because, you know, it's very nimble, and that's what you want in a street bike. You know, you want it to be nimble, you want it to be go left or right, you know, dodging traffic, people pull out at you. The brakes are, you know, definitely adequate at slow speeds. Probably a little bit higher speeds, you know, you get a bit of sponginess there. Nice. Give that car a wide berth. Yeah, you've got to really lean into the handlebars so you don't feel it on your seat so much. This is nice. Blimey. What What a shame that my lifestyle right now isn't for this bike. I think if I had a stable of bikes, if I kept my sort of Triumph, you know, for the off-roading and for the, you know, long distance touring type thing, this, and had this as my sort of go-to bike just for general everyday stuff and just hooning about and having a good time, it'll be a no-brainer. Definitely have this. Unfortunately, just like most people, I don't have enough money to have a stable of bikes, or stable of new bikes anyway, that's for sure. I wish I did, but I don't. So I'm going to have to make a choice. And I know the choice I've already made about the other bike is that I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to buy something like this, and then from off-road I'm going to go just buy a smaller cc lightweight bike that's suited to it. But this is a nice bike. Lovely. But so yeah, I'm already starting to feel that sort of that numbness in the nether regions here, in the pelvic area. It's down to the seat. It's down to the seat and the way these mid-mounted controls lift your legs up a little bit. You're kind of not stretched out like that, you know, with the other bikes forward-mounted control, which way you're not really, are you? I mean, let's face it, you're just a little bit more. But this, you pulled it back, and it's the way that seat is. It's almost like the seat needs to be padded up at the back a little bit. I'm sure you can get another seat, I'm sure, but you're taking a risk, aren't you? You're taking a risk about buying a bike that you might not be comfortable on for the long haul. And I think right now, because I still carry stuff and I still do longer journeys, couldn't really justify this bike. It's a shame, because it's a cracking bike. If you ride this, if you have the same issues as I am having with it, then you'll know exactly what I mean, and I think you'll come to the understanding, come to the realization that this might not be the bike for you. If you're not having the problems, or it's not, then your lifestyle can, you know, cope with this kind of bike, then this is definitely the bike for you. So the final verdict, ladies and gentlemen, the final verdict is I love this bike. I knew I would. It's my style. I love it. But not for me right now. And do you know what? I'm absolutely gutted by that. I'm absolutely bloody gutted by that. Look. Easy filtering. Because it's so narrow. Bars aren't that wide. You know, you haven't got massive bags on the back. I mean, my bike that I'm currently riding, I've got big boxes on the back, which are extra wide anyway, because they don't fit on the bike properly. So, you know, doing that on with those boxes would be a nightmare. But this, woof, straight through. I love it. Yeah. Early clutch, add a bit of revs. You need to do that. I was just like any bike, you get used to riding it, don't you? I mean, this is a test ride. The more you ride it, after about 6 months, a year, you know, you're going to get really comfortable with it. I will say this, when you put your left leg down here, it does tend to get caught on the foot peg a little bit. So you almost have to give it a wide berth. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. Yeah, I just want you to know how gutted I am that this bike isn't for me. I just want you to know that. Oh, dear. Right. Final verdict time. Turn it off there. Now that is a bloody fantastic bike. I absolutely love that. Look at the lines on that. Fantastic. But I stand by what I said on the test ride. You start adding bags to that, you start adding pillion seats to that, racks to it, completely ruin the line, completely ruin the look. That's the way the bike should look. It's a street bob. It's supposed to be emulating a bobber style. You don't have any of that crap strapped to your bike. It looks good, doesn't it? It looks good, it rides good. Jeez, that's a great bike. But anyway, I think you can agree, it looks a business. Hopefully, you know, if you go ride one of these yourself, you kind of realise that it rides the business. This is what I call a proper bike as well, proper Harley. This new frame that they've got on there, this soft tail frame, monoshock rear suspension, gaiters at the front, yeah, supposed to protect the fork seals a little bit from dust and everything. Yeah, some people don't like that. I think it's in keeping. I think it looks quite good. You know, I come from a off-road motocross world anyway, so you know, those are nothing new, you know, from the old days anyway. Look, it looks a business. It is the business. And it's so light and nimble, big power to weight ratio. That's still a heavy bike though, 300 kilos, you know, wet, as I say, but looks good. Look, and the thing is here, this peg here, when you're, you know, putting your foot down at the lights, you could easily get your foot trapped here or your trouser leg trapped on that a couple of times. Kicking that stand forward, it's almost like you have to bring your foot around the outside of that to kick this forward. It doesn't quite work properly, but some nice touches on this bike. Well, that's the review. You know what, that's been the review for me, and it's been the review for you. Hopefully you got some use out of that. You know, try to put it on the motorway, try to put it on the back roads in town, filtering as well. Big fan of this bike, but my lifestyle just won't suit it right now, unfortunately. Well, I hope yours does, because this is a bike you're going to be having so much fun on. Right, catch you on the next video. Please subscribe, check out the website RevelatorAlf.com, and go to the Patreon account as well, and help support us there. That'd be great, so I can keep on making content and all sorts of bike, whether bike reviews or just general opinion stuff or off-roading stuff, whatever. Right, catch you again. Ta-da now.